What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here bringing you another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel Episode 4. This video is regarding the preview for the 4th episode of Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, and I want to talk about it because I thought the preview actually looked pretty interesting. We get to see this new monster known as Doomwave, and we also get to see the return of Badana, which is cool because I wasn't really sure what was going on with her, because in the Japanese show she was a pretty consistently used character, and the past 2 episodes she hadn't been used. So it was sort of like you introduced this character episode 1 of Super Ninja Steel, and then you just basically decided to not use her at all these past 2 episodes, and I was thinking to myself, are they trying to underuse her for some reason? Well, she is back, so that is good to see that they are keeping her in this. So, moving on to the actual preview clip itself, what we do see is that Doomwave is telling some Kudabots to fix a machine that he has, which is a tidal wave machine, that can be used to create tsunamis that will wipe out Summer Cove. So he's telling the Kudabots to fix the machine. We end up seeing the Rangers are sneaking behind near a rock formation, watching over what's happening, and Badana appears and she's like, you better get this machine fixed. Odious will not be happy if you don't do this right. And there's this whole discussion about that. And the thing is that apparently the machine was operational, but I think it might have been either Sarah's father or Peter or Preston's father had a drone that ended up knocking into the machine, which broke it, and that's the reason. The reason why I say I don't know is because the way that they kind of talked, it was a little bit unclear as to who they were talking about. I have a feeling it was Preston, but it could be Sarah. It was a little bit unclear of how they were talking, and of course when the actual episode airs, we'll know the context of the situation a lot better, and usually whatever this is probably towards the very beginning of the episode, so, I'll know right at the very beginning of the episode what they're referring to. So, yes, so that's going to be cool to see this episode. We end up seeing following this is that, the Rangers do come out of hiding and then attack Doomwave and the Kudabots. It should be cool to see what ends up happening in this episode, because this episode is actually going to lead to the introduction of the Subsurfer Zord, which is the next new Zord that will be introduced. It's basically the equivalent to, the Astro Zord and the Rumble Zord and the, those kind of different Zords that they've used before. So it's those ones that aren't as often used, but are nice to see when they do show up. So we'll see, of course. It's hard to say for a fact how they're going to use these different, how they're going to use the Zord this season. And as far as things go with the Blaze Megazord, which I'm sure many of you guys have been wondering, like, when's that coming? They released the merchandise for it, yet we haven't even seen the Subsurfer Zord in merchandise. Pretty sure, don't hold me to this, but I'm actually pretty much positive that this is what happened. They probably reversed things because they probably thought, okay, it's Super Ninja Steel, so we might as well start strong with the Blaze Megazord, even though in reality it's probably not going to show up in the show till the fall half of the season, and yet we're going to introduce the Subsurfer Zord during the spring part of the season. So in other words, they flip-flopped them. They decided to release the Subsurfer Zord in the fall, and yet it's going to release in the show in the spring, and then the Blaze Megazord got released as a toy in the spring, and yet it's not going to be seen in the show till the fall. So they reversed them, which is weird, but I get it because it's the beginning of a season and they want to do something that makes people a little bit more excited. But it is kind of strange because it's not plot-based, which is weird. It's sort of like, why would you advertise a product that no one's going to even see till way later on in the show? Doesn't make much sense. And even the theme song features the new Megazord, the Blaze Megazord, which we're not going to likely see it until into the fall. So keep that in mind if you're wondering why that is and why you haven't seen the Subsurfer Megazord. That's because they probably flip-flopped it, and that's why it's not in stores. Because I haven't heard a single word. No one's talked about the Subsurfer Megazord at all. We don't even know what's going on with it. So I personally am doubtful it's coming this spring. I'm expecting fall, which is weird. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. I just wanted to bring that up. I love some of your opinions, though. Are you guys looking forward to this episode? Subsurfer Megazord most likely this episode, so that's going to be cool to see. And the Subsurfer Zord in general. And it should be nice to see. We are also about, after this episode, we'll be halfway through Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel's spring half of the season. We're not halfway through the show, but we're halfway through the spring season, so keep that in mind. Another 4 more weeks, and then the show will be on hiatus again, which will obviously be a slow period for the show, but there's a lot of other things going on, so like don't think that there's nothing going on with Power Rangers. There's still Hyperforce going on, and all sorts of product and other things that are still going to be occurring this year. It is the 25th anniversary year, so keep that in mind. I love Sneakers Opinions, though. What do you guys think of this preview clip? I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.